It's so funny because some people think that we don't have hair. It's like, do you have hair? Do you sleep with the hijab? No. Hi, I'm Ustazah Liana Musfira. I'm a religious teacher in Singapore and I conduct Islamic classes. In Singapore, hijab is known as tudong in Malay translation. Even then, tudong itself has multiple types of tudong. There's the extremely long one that you can wrap it around your head 3 or 4 times. There's one that is so short that you can just pin it with one pin. So it's really vast. But there are many types of headscarf that is different from one country to another country, from one community to another community. It's a religious obligation for Muslim women to cover our heads. The term hijab is actually a way that a Muslim woman should bring herself in her everyday life. So hijab is more than just a headscarf, because many of us still believe that hijab is just wearing a piece of cloth over the head. But it's more than that. It's every other part of a true believer. It is an instruction from our Creator. But again, Islam encourages understanding and knowledge and pure intention. So we do not force, you have to wear hijab. If you do not wear hijab, you are not a true believer. For us in Islam, we encourage practicing our religion with sincere intention, with real knowledge of why we have to wear hijab. What is the wisdom behind wearing hijab? There are many women nowadays, they are really having to decide about wearing hijab or wearing hijab at a later part. But all in all, our religion promotes understanding and knowledge before you practice a religious obligation. Yes and no, it depends actually, because for some of the families in Singapore, they want to follow strictly their obligations rulings, but then there are other families who are very respectful, they're very understanding towards the decision that their daughters are making. So they will say, okay, this is a religious obligation, but we know you are wise and we know you are responsible to decide when is the right time for you to wear. So it really depends on the family context. Now in October is actually very hot, so there's different types of hijab that we can change to, and then there's also our inner hijab. So our inner hijab is what we usually do to secure the hair before we actually put that external cloth. So on days where it gets very hot, sometimes the inner hijab, we don't use double layer, or we choose a different kind of materials that are more cooling and more sweat friendly. Yeah, actually a lot of Muslim women's hair salon is very convenient for Muslim women to have hair treatment and their hair cut. There are also actually non-Muslim hair salons that actually provide a safe space for Muslim women, and then they would put signs outside of their shop that say it's Muslim women friendly. So I thought that was really heartwarming and a nice gesture. I was surprised that the menu for hair treatment is actually as long as the menu in a restaurant. Basically, the idea about whether or not a Muslim woman can dye our hair is because of the additional coating. Before we perform our 5 daily prayers, we are supposed to perform our cleansing, right? Our ablution. That's when we worry if the additional coating will block the water from penetrating to our original skin or original hair. So most of the time, Muslim women who wants to get their hair coated with additional color, they will usually do it when they are in their menses, when they do not have to pray within that certain period of time. It really depends on our personal preferences. It also depends on the cultural influence that they are receiving. Probably they are getting Islamic studies from a different country. Probably they are following the tradition or culture from other communities. So it really depends on what they're comfortable with, and then they decide on themselves. Okay, this is where a lot of the misconceptions are in, because people are saying that only Muslim women have to dress a certain way, but actually Muslim men are also encouraged to dress with appropriate attire. But we are being highlighted because of the piece of cloth on our hair, but actually our religion really encourages men to also wear appropriate modest dressing every day. Those who are considered our mahram, for example, our fathers, our brothers, our uncles, and our husbands, those who can see our hair and our head and our neck are those who are in our mahram. So mahram technically means we are related either by blood or we are related either by marriage. It's so funny because some people think that we don't have hair. It's like, do you have hair? Do you sleep with the hijab? No. But other than that, other women are allowed to see our hair.